What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Well, it gets more and more sorted every day as Epstein Gate, as I said yesterday, is blown wide open. This thing has dominated the political spectrum, even though the White House is trying to play offensive and trying to distract people with this fake Russia interference um, hoax that they're talking about as far as trying to make Barack Obama this criminal who falsified information as far as Russia. I got a little bit of sound to I got to play later on to debunk that crap. But on the heels of it being revealed that Jeffrey Epstein, who Donald Trump absolutely knew, and not just knew, they were close friends. There's numerous photos. There's probably like scores of photos now, various different events where Epstein and Trump are together. They are clearly friends. Close friends. All right. They were on a private plane together. Uh, Allegedly, Donald Trump's name shows up many, many times in the Epstein ledger. I'll talk about it in a moment. But now it's been proven that Epstein attended Donald Trump's December 1993 wedding to Marla Maples. He was seen in a photo, different photos, but one particular prominent photo where he is behind none other than, what's the guy's name from the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous? Robin Leach. So this is real. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, a report just came out from Wall Street Journal that the Department of Justice informed President Trump back in May that he was on, his name was among many different prominent people when it comes to the Epstein list. Okay? Now, we know that. Anybody with common sense knows that's why Donald Trump is acting the way he is. But he's in a very tough situation because he realistically can't reveal that list. He can't. Because I can't really say this on YouTube or maybe anywhere, but something terrible would happen if he tried to even attempt to do that. There are powers even more powerful. There are forces even more powerful than the president at play here. Okay? He's never going to voluntarily release that list. However, if he doesn't, then it proves that he is on the list. Because why on earth would you not release it unless you're protecting yourself and others? So he's in a very screwy situation here, okay? A very screwy situation for himself. But I said before, and I'll say it again, he created it. He created this situation where you have a cult that is obsessed with scandal and obsessed with conspiracy theories and obsessed with demonization of anyone and everyone who is perceived to be the enemy of thine, right? But now all of a sudden, the outsider in Trump now looks like the ultimate corrupt political insider. You talk about draining the swamp, you were wallowing in the swamp with the other filth. So now there are some people with common sense, at least, opening their eyes and seeing things for what they truly are. But let me talk about this whole Russia thing, right? So you have Tulsi Gabbard, who's completely sold out, now all of a sudden leading the charge, saying that this was a hoax, and the reports that Russia colluded was colluding to interfere with the 2016 president's election with misinformation and bots and all this other crap, right? She said all that was fake. It never existed. It wasn't real. Funny because back when she wasn't kissing Donald Trump's ass, or when she wasn't trying to ensure that she keeps her job, she said something totally different when she was on Joe Rogan's program. And Joe Rogan is by no means some woke liberal.
I think when you're talking about and there's so many, I don't know, I'm kind of going in a few different directions here with these social media giants, how they're being misused to further certain agendas in different ways. But when you're talking about like these Russian troll farms that you mentioned, what is missing from all of the news coverage around this and all of the outrage about how this foreign country is trying to influence our elections, which is wrong and which the American people need to be aware of where this information is coming from, is the fact that and you're saying, why does somebody do that? Well, because this country does want to influence who we're electing, right?
Yes.
Like, we'd rather work with this person. We know that person is not going to be nice to us. The United States has been doing this for a very long time.
Sure.
In countries around the world, both overtly and covertly, through these kinds of disinformation campaigns, not even counting like the outright regime change wars, we're going to physically take you out. And I think it is very hypocritical for us to be discussing this issue as a country without actually being honest about how this goes both ways. So yes, we need to stop these other foreign countries, and Russia's not the only one, there are others, from trying to influence the American people in our elections. We also need to stop doing the same thing in other countries.
Yeah, without doubt. But there's also the question is, what is Russia trying to achieve? Like, why do they want someone like Donald Trump in office versus someone like Hillary Clinton? Like, what is to be gained? And how much, how much do they benefit from that?
Yeah.
This is what's really one of the big questions that's going on right now.
Yeah.
With all the Russian hearings and the Mueller investigation and trying to get to the bottom of all this and why they did what they did and what they did. And there's many people that are blowing this off and they don't think that it's important, and the president's claiming it's a witch hunt. But it's very odd that we're having this conversation in the first place. It's never existed before in any single presidential election. There's never been talk of us or any politician that's running for president being influenced by a foreign superpower before today. It's just amazing that it took until 2016 before this became a real issue.
That's true.
Well, I mean, according to, according to those who have the obvious information, Russia has leverage over Trump from his illicit business dealings with Russian businesses. There's also some reports that they have in possession some, let's just say, some interesting footage of Trump engaging in some extremely compromising activity with extremely young individuals. Let's put it like that, okay? So you have that in play. Remember, when Trump was reelected, a lot of Russian media, for some reason, showcased it. What was it? I think in the background or some of the video, or some of the what do you call it? The not the modules, but on some of the televisions or whatever you want to call it, they were showing monitors. Excuse me, that's what I was trying to think of. Some of the monitors, they were showing video of Melania dressed in like Victoria's Secret stuff. It's almost like they were sending a message to Trump, like, okay, we still have leverage on you. And as we all seen, ever since Trump became president, Russia's become a lot more aggressive when it comes to their foreign policy. So that's why they wanted Trump in the White House, because they feel like they had somebody that they could manipulate in a fashion so that they could do and get away with certain things that they wouldn't have gotten away with Hillary Clinton. Also, you gotta ask yourself this: as I said before, why is it that Tulsi Gabbard, although she was condemning the United States for engaging in the same type of misinformation campaign with other countries, because yeah, it's not right that we do it with other countries, but she said, yeah, Russia was definitely engaging. She talked about troll farms. So why is it that she was acknowledging that yes, Russia was engaged in misinformation and trying to interfere our election in 2016, but now she says a hoax? Because she's clearly lying. Also, I'm gonna tell you something else too. The timetable kind of matches here with certain things. So, according to the reports, the Department of Justice informed Trump in May that his name was one of many, right? On the Epstein list, the list that they now say didn't exist, but clearly it does. When did Elon Musk leave? June 1st, wasn't it? Was that when he officially left? And what was it? One of the first things he said after he left was that Trump's name is definitely on that list. Remember, he put that on X/Twitter, and it was the first one of the first things that really popped off this whole. Hey, wait a minute, there's something more going on here, right? And then he removed it a couple days later. So, why exactly did Elon leave? Was it because he saw something that he didn't want no parts of? Even the richest man in the world? Maybe he saw then that this was going to go bad. Maybe he saw certain things, and because who knows what Elon had access to? And maybe he saw some things and said, I don't want no parts of this. But I don't know, y'all. Every day we get more and more information, which pretty much shows that Trump is a liar. Okay? And it's not even about him being a liar. It's not about him being a liar, because Washington is full of liars. But it's about what he's lying about that's disconcerting. And I'm going to tell you something else, too. If this thing continues, um, there may be, now, I don't know. I've been thinking about this. It may ultimately lead, and like I said, this is far off now. This may lead to Trump resigning, man, and JD Vance becoming president. If it gets that bad, if the outcry, but I have a hard time seeing Trump doing that, though. I don't see Trump doing that. Trump doesn't come across to me as a guy that's going to willingly just resign from office, and you know what I'm saying. He's no Nixon. They're gonna have to pull him away, dragging and kicking, and screaming and clawing. So we got to see, man, because if Trump becomes let's just say this thing gets really bad, and it gets to a point where if you're just a Republican and you're associated with Trump, or you've had prior appearances with Trump, and it gets bad. You know what I'm saying? Like 1999 Bill Clinton to the 100th power. If he becomes that toxic, man, I don't know. That might be enough for the majority of Republicans to turn on him. But I'm talking long term here. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.